Thanks for staying with us. We are staying with the election of a new Pope in the Vatican, Pope Leo XIV. Now, joining me live to discuss more of this is Professor of International Relations and Strategic Studies, David Awarawo. He joins me via Zoom. Good to have you join us.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right, so let's talk about the long resistance to an American Pope. For some people, it will appear as if there is an alignment between the Vatican and the US, which is the strongest economic and military power. But now that the Catholic Church is run by an American, what is the implication of that for the global dominance of the US?
Well, I don't think that there has been resistance to the emergence of an American Pope. It is just that for a long time, the popes came from Italy traditionally. More than 80% of all the popes you have had came from Italy, with a moment of pride. Because, Pope Leo XIV will be in Italy, and he will operate just like other popes have operated from Italy in the Vatican. Being an American, I'm not sure will give any special influence or ability for the US to influence the global order further than it has done until now. In fact, there are many Americans who are even opposed to the new Pope already, who are saying that he's a leftist, he's a Marxist. He had condemned manning the border strongly before now. He has supported, migrants and all that, and that he will be opposed. The comments he has made before now were opposed to the Trump's MAGA agenda. And we have had many people in the US who have been critical of him, that he has not, been committed to the American ideal, American interest. So I don't think it will give the US any special leverage on the international scene. What I see is that it will give the Americans, of course, psychological satisfaction and a sense of pride. Those are the things I think it will bring to the US. Not any significant ability for the US to further influence the global community.
In terms of influence, let's stay there, especially the influence of the papacy. Pope John Paul II is largely seen as the last pope of influence. He was the first pope of globally oriented pope. He also increased the global prestige of the papacy. How powerful is that papacy today?
Well, the papacy is still powerful. When we analyze international relations, one thing that comes to mind is how much population does an individual preside over. That is a factor in how much influence he's able to wield, of course, in line with other elements of national power. The Catholic Church has 1.4 billion people. And so the Pope is the head of the Catholic Church, which means he has a large number of persons that he presides over. And that has been the basis for the Pope's influence. In countries where Catholics are so many, like the Philippines, it is when the bishop speaks. When the bishop speaks, let us go this direction. That is where the direction the country goes. So the Pope has a measure of influence. Of course, he's also head of the Vatican, so he has some political influence. They have Papa nuncios, Papa legates that are posted to countries around the world. So the Pope enjoys a measure of influence, which is why you can see the comments all over the world, the messages that have been sent, wishing the Pope well and all that. So the Pope enjoys a measure of influence, but I don't think that would translate to the US having vast, influence on the global community on account of the fact that the recently elected Pope is an American.
Thank you so much for your time. Always a pleasure to have you on, Professor of International Relations and Strategic Studies, David Awarawo.
Thank you for having me.